Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are looking at the SH Figuarts Naruto Uzumaki, the #1 most unpredictable ninja. This is, of course, the sort of young version of Naruto from the original series. This figure came out a while ago. I can't remember exactly how long ago this thing came out, but I waited a little bit. I wasn't sure I was gonna get this, but then when eCollectibles offered it, I decided that I needed to have it. So, shout out to Mike at eCollectibles for bringing this in. I don't know if he brought it in because I requested it or because I mentioned, that I would probably buy it if he did. But he's expanding his SH Figuarts ordering and stuff like that. So I'm pretty happy about that because, as many of you know, eCollectibles is my go-to for a lot of stuff. And now they're my go-to for SH Figuarts. So let's take a look at the box. First, we get the nice big window box. Normally with SH Figuarts, I primarily get the Dragon Ball stuff. So this is a little bit of a different box. Where we normally get sort of a picture of the figure, we get a picture of the figure, but it's got this really cool sort of, overlay on it where they've sort of drawn on. It almost looks like it's sort of brushed on or a calligraphy pen or something like that. I don't know how well it translates on camera, but in person, it actually looks really, really cool. Really, really good. You can kind of see it best with the hand there. Like they've sort of painted over a picture of the figure to really pull out some of the lines and things like that. There's sort of a print to this as well. It reminds me of decorative Japanese paper. But maybe it's something else and I just don't know. I mean, maybe it's a sort of a Naruto reference. I'm not that steeped in Naruto. My kids started watching it, which is why I decided to get this figure. So that's that. My Naruto knowledge is next to nothing. Anyways, on the side we get the full figure, in the picture there, and then again Naruto Uzumaki, the #1 most unpredictable ninja, which I think is a funny title for an action figure, but hey, what do I know? Then we get more details, more sort of call outs to some of the extra parts that we're gonna get in here, which is pretty cool. He comes with a bunch of faces. I do know that Naruto has sort of like a demon inside him, which is why he has this sort of cat look. I don't really understand why or sort of what the significance of that is. We get some legalese. We get some superfluous language about, how great these figures are or whatever. The bottom, we get Naruto as well. On the top, we get sort of what SH Figuarts stands for. And on the other side, we get the full name sort of in Japanese, and then and then the face. So pretty cool box. I mean, all the SH Figuarts boxes are pretty decent. In terms of the amount of detail, in terms of the fact, I actually really like that each line. So the Dragon Ball stuff looks different than the Naruto stuff, and the what like the Chainsaw Man stuff looks different. Lupin the Third stuff looks different. Like each sort of IP gets their own design. The boxes are the same or similar sizes, and the layout's more or less the same. But you do get a nicely stylized package that, in my opinion, typically suits the IP. So, anyways, there is the box. But we're not here for the box. We're here for the figure. So let's get this guy out of the box. So here we have Naruto out of the box. It's a really great figure. First impressions, I might have liked a little bit more in terms of paint apps, but other than that, really no complaints. The only thing that I noticed sort of right out of the box is that his arms won't go down any further, which might bother some people. It might not. And then his belt piece just kind of floats. So it's between the torso and the sort of crotch, there's this floating belt piece, which helps articulation. but it feels weird. Like it feels like I always want to just have this zipper lined up, and sometimes it just doesn't quite sit properly. I feel like that could have been done in a softer plastic. It's more of a rigid plastic, which is interesting. The little pouch that's on it is on like a ball joint, so the pouch can move. So interesting. But nonetheless, first impressions are it's a great figure. Detail wise, you like I said, I mentioned that zipper. I mentioned the pouch. He's got his little pocket on his thigh there. The open-toed sandals, which are kind of funny. The big high collar actually looks really really good. He's got his. Is this a slingshot? I don't know what that is on his shoulder. Feel free to let me know in the comments. I mean, I don't know is there something that he holds in his little pouch? Is there something that he holds in this little thing here? Is that a slingshot? I don't know. But anyway, all in all, the figure is pretty nice. I think it's a pretty good representation of Naruto from the anime. The face is really, really good. The way that the face comes off is different than any Dragon Ball figure that I have. There's also a really interesting thing going on here where the bottom of his hair is actually attached to his neck, so that when he moves his head, he's still got hair sort of right against his neck, which is different. I've never seen that before. It's interesting. I don't know why they would have done that. I guess because he's got the high collar. Otherwise, it would sort of bump into the back of the collar. I suppose that is probably the reason. Articulation wise, I mean, it's SH Figuarts, so you get good articulation, and very very posable. As I said, articulation, I guess, in the hair. But one of the articulation points that I wanted to point out, or two, the knee goes back pretty far. There's a tiny little gap in the bottom of the knee if you go fully extended. But the ankle and the foot, he's a ninja, so it makes sense that they would have lots of articulation. There's the toe hinge, and if you pull the toe all the way down, you still get this weird sort of little bit of flesh colored paint. I think it could have just been blue and it wouldn't have bothered me. It bothers me more when you do that and you can see it. But that'll be the bottom of his foot, so it doesn't really matter. You probably won't really see that. But the articulation in the ankle is kind of crazy. There's rocker in the ankle. I don't know how to show this because it's so there's rocker there, right at the ankle, but there's also rocker in the boot. So you get like a crazy range of motion on that ankle, because you get basically 2 points of articulation sort of from the boot down, which is pretty wild. I'm never going to pose this guy up as well as I suspect he could be posed up, if that makes sense. He's going to end up on a shelf standing like this or something, which really doesn't, the guys that engineered this figure have done a fantastic job, probably a far better job than I will ever take advantage of. The figure is amazing, and so are the accessories. They are pretty fun. They're a little bit different than what I'm used to with Dragon Ball as well, so let's take a look at the accessories. First up, we have a little dagger, a little sort of throwing dagger. They use these all the time in the show, so it's cool that they included one of those. It might have been nice to get a couple because I feel like they always use a couple of them, but maybe that's just me, and maybe it won't make a difference. I'll probably never use it anyway. We get this little blast effect energy ball thing. I'm not too familiar, as I said, with Naruto, so I'm not 100% certain what that is. I know that they have their little, their little jutsus that they do by way of, hand motion gesture things that sort of conjure up these things. Now, as far as hands go, we get a standard gripping hand, so that will grip. the the throwing knife there. We get some open hands as well, just generic open hands, one set left and right. We get some jutsu hands, I guess, 2 fingers. That is also, a left and right set. Then we get a few unique ones, one-offs. So we get a sort of open fist, open hand. We get a hand that is a bit, I mean, I don't know what this hand is. There's sort of two closed fingers, 2 open fingers. He might be able to hold something with this hand. I'm not entirely sure. Again, maybe that's down to like me not watching enough of the anime. And then we get a hand with a little hole in it, and that little hole will, of course, line up with the peg that is on the back of this, and it is keyed. It is not just a round circle, so it's going to go in there nicely and sit firmly when you put that on the figure. So that is a nice addition. I appreciate when they do that, because it just makes it that much easier to pose the figure without worrying that it's going to fall off. As far as optional faces go, as SH Figuarts always does, they include some alternative faces. So we get just the smiling face that comes on the figure. Then we get gritted teeth. We get shouting face. We get excited, embarrassed. I don't know what this face, I don't know what emotion this is meant to sort of suggest, but it's a good face. I like this face a lot. And then probably my favorite, so this is a combination. We get the red-eyed sort of demon coming out of Naruto. He's also got the sharp fang-like teeth there, and there's a little, just enough of a paint app on there that you can actually see the fangs. And then to go along with that face, we actually get a set of hands that are clawed. So you get the claws out. The claws are painted white as well. So a really cool addition to sort of give him that that demon look. He's possessed by like a demon, a tiger demon, nine-tailed. I can't remember. I don't watch it enough. Feel free to let me know what it's called or whatever in the comments. But anyway, a pretty good loadout. I think the selection here is pretty good for like a basic figure. Like this is a price point figure. This is not an expensive figure at all. So the fact that you get, all the extra hands, you get, the clawed hands and the demon face and the blast effect. This is a very, very good offering from SH Figuarts, and I think this is a worthy addition to your collection. I don't know that I'm going to go deep on Naruto, but getting just Naruto, I think, was enough for me. Now, I'm going to get him posed up and maybe try out a couple of these hands and give my sort of final thoughts. So here he is, Naruto Uzumaki, the #1 most unpredictable ninja from SH Figuarts. I really like this figure. I really enjoy this figure. And, I don't know how deep I'm going to go with Naruto figures, but if the Naruto line is putting out figures that are this good, I'm more inclined to probably grab a couple more of them, because this figure is really fun, very posable. The accessories are great, and if a toy is fun, I kind of want to get more. But anyway, there he is in a little bit of a pose. I mean, not a great pose, as I said. It's pretty generic, pretty vanilla, with the energy effects, all the accessories laid out there. I think this guy is a lot of fun. I think it's a very, very well executed figure. And as I said, the articulation for this figure, perfect for a ninja. Perfect for what the figure is. So if you're into Naruto at all, I would say pick this guy up. It's well worth the price point that you're going to be able to find this guy at. Shout out once again to eCollectibles.ca for getting these and sort of humoring me and potentially you know, this may have backfired. This may end badly for me. But as of right now, I'm really loving this figure. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And if you don't want to miss future videos, please hit the bell icon to get notifications. Until next time, bye-bye.